always trying to pinpoint you on one specific person. It's just weird. I feel like it's really weird, and I think it also goes back to a lot of these men in media all of a sudden have opinions about women's basketball. Never had opinions about women's basketball before, but all of a sudden everybody from different angles have an opinion on women's sports.
Or they also never watch.
They never watch. They just see the highlights. They don't watch the full game. They only just see the highlights.
Angel Reese is definitely feeling the sting after being left off the All-WNBA teams. Despite her solid rookie season with the Chicago Sky, she wasn't able to crack the first or second team. Adding insult to injury, her biggest rival, Caitlin Clark, not only made the All-WNBA first team, but also won the Rookie of the Year award.
About 53 out of 56 votes. For Kaylin Yoder, I think it was about 47 of 49, so it's typically close. But ever since, Angel Reese had that injury, to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists, breaking, like you said, the assist record. To be able to do that as a rookie in the face of that much defensive pressure, should have been unanimous.
Caitlin Clark had a spectacular rookie season, and it's no surprise she landed a spot on the All-WNBA first team alongside superstars like Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Alyssa Thomas. Clark's explosive performances and ability to captivate audiences helped her steal the spotlight. The first team was packed with elite players from all over the league, and according to analysts, it made it even more competitive for someone like Reese to secure a place.
I think that's something that you can transition to the next level, and it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful. So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? See, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to dilute your point by any stretch in it, because I get where you're coming from. And as a lady, you should take that position along with Molly about how we all need to grow up and accept the fact that these women are highly competitive, they're highly gifted and skilled, and we should give them the love and respect and deference they deserve. But I'm going a step further with this. We all know that there's a white-black issue here, because the fact of the matter is when Caitlin did it, people were celebrating it, and they were talking about nothing but her greatness.
Reese had her own shining moments during her debut season, but the voters just weren't convinced enough to place her among the league's top players. She also came up short in the WNBA Rookie of the Year race, finishing second behind Clark in early October.
When I think about it, it's a neck-and-neck race. It's not a foregone conclusion. The fact that Angel Reese is in the mix is a beautiful, beautiful thing, with all the notoriety that's been thrown in the direction, Eminem, for Caitlin Clark. But that's where I want to go with this. This is the biggest thing we have to applaud about Angel Reese. She goes out in the midst of all of this pub and notoriety being thrown in the direction of a Caitlin Clark. And everybody is talking about, yeah, but it's Caitlin Clark and everybody else. Well, Angel Reese like, nah, it ain't Caitlin Clark and everybody else. It's me too. And then showed up on national television, showed up last night, and down 15, having already lost 2 games to Caitlin Clark already this year, brings her team back, puts it on her shoulders, and absolutely positively took over and was talking smack. Did you see what she did to Steph Curry shimmy sitting on her backside on her when she went to the floor after scoring 11? I mean, damn.
To make matters worse, the second team had no room for Reese either. Players like Sabrina Ionescu, Kalia Copper, and Jonquil Jones rounded out that squad. The fact that Reese didn't make either team despite a solid season has raised some eyebrows, but it just goes to show how packed with talent the WNBA is right now. Reese was also completely snubbed from the all-defensive teams, something that hasn't gone unnoticed by her fans.
The difference between being vilified and being a villain.
So the way,
outside of this incident, right? Let's take this out.
But I'm just saying,
the way you play the game,
and the way you act.
How does she play it any different than Caitlyn?
All of you telling me, hold up, you telling me they play the same way?
No, they don't. But this is all I'm saying.
Caitlyn is an angel.
I'm not saying
She's never
I'm not saying she's an angel, but you're not
She's
gonna.
never in anyone's face. She's never physical with anybody. Like they play the same way. They're both competitors.
They play the same way.
Reese had a solid rookie campaign with the Chicago Sky, averaging 13.6 points and a league-leading 13.1 rebounds per game. She even set a WNBA record for most consecutive double-doubles with 15 and broke the WNBA record for the most rebounds in a single season, racking up a mind-blowing 446. But despite those impressive numbers, Reese's exclusion from the All-WNBA and defensive teams has left many fans wondering why the snub. To make matters worse, she didn't even make the defensive team, which has sparked plenty of outrage, but some agrees that it was rightly so.
You don't get to decide that. The public did. And that happened for a very specific spark of a moment. Angel Reese is not, Angel Reese from a player-only perspective, is not that unique. There are better players than Angel Reese. There have been more dynamic players than Angel Reese. There are better players in the WNBA now than Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark looks phenomenal. No one's denying her shooting ability. But as far as like athleticism or dominating in college basketball, seen it.
Right.
The moment was very specific. And the stuff that Caitlyn was doing, we're saying Angel was doing that. But so we can't separate the two. Like, Caitlyn's stardom is owed to that moment. Yes, she is great, but we were not talking about her from an interesting perspective. Athleticism, sure, that's fun, but you have to be interesting. You have to be polarizing. And why was Angel Reese polarizing? Let's be honest about it.
She went to the best. She messed with the best player in the league.
She's a black woman who was in Caitlin Clark's face, and that compelled white people to have an opinion about what was happening, which has laid the foundation for everything that we're talking about now and this very.
Well, it's not just a regular white girl though. See, that's my thing. So you are right.
Of course, it's not a regular white girl.
The white girl you talk about is the best player that we've ever seen and so when you talk about, like, I get it because she's a black woman. If Reese did that to another black girl, we probably won't be talking about this.
Would not be.
But the thing is,
if a white girl did it to Caitlin Clark, we wouldn't be talking about it.
The thing is, right, so race did happen. So we are agreeing with you. Angel Reese had a little part to do with that, yes.
When the WNBA announced its all-defensive teams, familiar names like Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier were all included. These are undoubtedly elite players who deserve recognition, but many fans believe that Reese should have at least made the second team, if not the first. Social media has been buzzing, with fans arguing that Reese's defensive skills are on par with, if not better than some of the players who were chosen. But was she really better?
Still playing. What is she, 41? I think she just had 31 points the other night. I mean, Sue Bird played at a high level. So many great players. I mean, I go back to Cheryl, Cynthia Cooper, Tamika Catchings. I mean, there are so many great players, but maybe they didn't capture your imagination. Caitlin Clark has. People watch. Now everybody wants to have an opinion on this. And that's where it clutters, muddies up everything that the women have tried to do. They've been there. You just haven't noticed. Now you're noticing, and now you have an agenda. Now you have an opinion. And that's where, no matter what you're saying or who's saying it or how you're saying it, everybody has a platform now. Yeah, Pauline.
It's interesting. The Angel Reese cut, I had heard it yesterday, and they only cut it to the last 8 seconds, 10 seconds. To hear it in context, though, she does have a lot of points about what the situation actually is. She is clearly not the draw and not the type of player that Clark is. She's a very good college player and a good WNBA player. But that incident in college, LSU, Iowa, took that sport and broke it out.
Reese is not happy after being left off those teams. And honestly, who could blame her? The number 7 pick out of LSU in the 2024 WNBA draft had a standout rookie season. But a wrist injury that sidelined her for the final 6 games of the regular season allowed Aja Wilson to sneak in and take that rebound crown from the rookie. It seems like the injury might have cost her some serious recognition. With Reese missing the final stretch, her momentum cooled off just as the league was finalizing its postseason accolades.
The injury to Angel Reese has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that the chase for the golden toilet has likely ended for the Chicago Bravado. Every player on this team could be Angel Reese, and they still would not make playoffs. All this injury did was hasten the inevitable. But there are thousands of people on social media who are questioning this injury. There are thousands of people on social media who are claiming that this Angel Reese injury is fake, or as Donnie Brasco would call it, a fugazi. Now, is there legitimacy to these claims? Would Angel Reese actually fake an injury? Would Angel Reese prematurely end her rookie season to spare herself the embarrassment of losing Rookie of the Year to Caitlin Clark?
And let's not forget the ongoing buzz around her rivalry with Caitlin Clark. These two have been at it since their college days, when Reese's LSU Tigers knocked off Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes in the 2023 NCAA Women's National Championship.
How long were you sitting on the...
Oh, I was waiting.
How long were you sitting
I
on the...
tell you, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this? This kind of the Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible.
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Then y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
So the victor go the spoils.
The tension only grew as Clark got a bit of revenge by beating LSU in the Elite Eight the following year. Even though both have denied any personal beef, fans couldn't help but notice the sparks flying during their matchups this season. But if you think Reese is letting the critics and the snub get under her skin, think again. She's been vocal about not caring what people think. And after Clark's All-WNBA selection was announced, Reese doubled down on that attitude by reposting a message on social media stating she still doesn't care about the opinions of others. So is Angel Reese really as unbothered as she claims? She's known for her outspoken personality and has often brushed off criticism, stating that what the critics or fans say doesn't matter. It's hard not to wonder if she's just masking her frustration. After all, she's a fierce competitor, and missing out on postseason honors, especially when your biggest rival is racking them up, has got to sting.
Generations before us did it. We're standing on their shoulders, and now it's our turn.
Yeah. When you look at Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, what they're doing in the W right now, as someone who loves some good trash talk, what do you think of what's going on with that rivalry?
I love it. I love it. I think basketball in the women's game, we've had rivalries for forever.
Yeah.
You know, we've had competitiveness, we've had trash talk, you name it. It just wasn't getting the looks. It wasn't getting, people weren't covering it. So the fact that these two, they literally stole the college stage, both with their play and their trash talk, and then they're taking it into the WNBA. It's just going to mean good things for the rest of the landscape of women's basketball. So I'm all for it. I think it's great. They've come in and they've taken over.
The Chicago Sky rookie took to social media recently, addressing the media's portrayal of her and opening up about the racist remarks she's faced over the past 2 years.
For the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way. Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese, who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. It's part of Playmakers Network of podcasts from Shaquille O'Neal. On the debut episode, co-host Maya Reese, who is Angel's cousin, asked her to address her feelings about rival Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark and the Fever's fan base. Take a look at what Angel Reese had to say about that. Quote, Caitlin Clark fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans, I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when it comes to death threats, like, I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, following me home. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me naked, literally. They've sent it to my family members. It sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that. End quote. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And there's a bunch of punk, no good, you know what's out there on the male and female side who are abusive because they're really, really good at being that way when they're behind keyboards and away from cameras and out of the spotlight where people know exactly who the hell they are.
Reese's comments came in response to a video featuring Connecticut Sun star Alyssa Thomas, who shared her own experiences with racist vitriol in the WNBA. Both players, who are black, highlighted the rise in hate as the league has seen record-breaking viewership in 2024. Reese didn't hold back, saying she's often been told to stop playing victim and save the tears when she addresses the racist comments aimed at her. This is nothing new for Reese, who has been vocal about the challenges she's faced in the public eye. However, not everyone is on her side, with some critics claiming she's responsible for the negative attention. There's no denying that Reese has a polarizing personality, and some fans didn't appreciate how she responded to a question about teaming up with Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark for the upcoming All-Star game. While Clark, who won Rookie of the Year, expressed excitement about playing with Reese, the Chicago Sky star took a more lighthearted approach, making a joke about it. This didn't sit well with everyone, leading to more criticism online.
8 seconds, 10 seconds. To hear it in context, though, she does have a lot of points about what the situation actually is. She is clearly not the draw and not the type of player that Clark is. She's a good college, very good college player and a good WNBA player. But that incident in college at LSU, Iowa, took that sport and broke it out. And we spent the entire offseason talking about, can we get a rematch of these two? It set up the senior year for Clark. Now, she is not the star player in this play, Reese, but she has a big element in the past year and a half of basketball.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, she played the role of villain, but it was personal with her. I don't think it was personal with Caitlin Clark, but it was with Angel Reese. She was clearly bothered by Caitlin Clark and the attention. But people aren't tuning in to watch Angel Reese play basketball. Angel Reese against Caitlin Clark, then they'll watch that. I mean, I love having a rivalry. I said that yesterday. We don't have enough rivalries. Now, you know, the WNBA has a rivalry. When Chicago and Indiana play, you'll watch. Like, what are the rivalries in the NBA? Where you go, golly, they don't like each other. What is it?
Load management and the fans.
Yeah, that's the rivalry. There's no, the way it used to be with Philly and the Celtics, or Celtics and the Lakers, or the Knicks against the Celtics. I mean, what is your rivalry? There is none. And I do appreciate a good rivalry. Like baseball had the Red Sox and the Yankees, which wasn't really a rivalry because the Yankees always won until the Red Sox won. Now you have a rivalry. Like the Giants and the Dodgers, rivalry. But you don't have many of them. And I love to have that where you tune in because it just feels like it's more than just a game. There's tension there. These guys don't like each other. These women don't like each other. I'm fine with that. It's competition. Yeah, Paulie.
Do you think that Angel Reese is very calculated recently with what she's doing? And I'm complimenting her. She made a lot of money NIL-wise her last year at LSU. And it feels like she's embracing this role and leaning into it, and even leading into any criticism of her comments because she knows it's going to pay her back because she can't make money on the floor in the WNBA. You have to make it off the floor.
Yeah. No, she's done well. She's capitalized. As long as you're willing to wear the black hat, you're going to be the villain. As long as you're willing to do that, then fine. It's like Draymond Green likes to be the bad guy until he gets criticized.
Some called out Reese for hypocrisy, as she previously claimed she loves being the villain, yet now playing the victim card when the media doesn't treat her the same way they did when she was a college star at LSU. So while Reese may be vocal about things, many have called on her to replicate it on the court, not just talking. And her snub for the All-WNBA teams didn't do much to help her claim. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell. Thanks for watching.